Now it gives me great pleasure to recognize a global leader in the feminist movement who has worked a lot on stopping various forms of domination. Gloria Steinem needs no introduction. I'll tell you a story to illustrate this. In the early 90s, I came home from a trip to Colorado. I'd been at the Broadmoor Hotel, and I reported to our daughter, who was then about 12, that I had seen Bob Hope taping his Christmas special. And her response was, "Who's Bob Hope?" Last weekend, her son, our 11-year-old grandson, was over for a visit, and I told him Gloria Steinem was coming to our dinner in New York, and he knew exactly who she was. As you know, Gloria is a global journalist, political organizer, and feminist leader. She founded Ms. Magazine, which is celebrating its 50th anniversary. So congratulations, Gloria. She co-founded the National Women's Political Caucus, the Ms. Foundation for Women, the Take Our Daughters to Work Day, and with Jane Fonda and Robin Morgan, she co-founded the Women's Media Center, an organization that works to make women visible and powerful in the media. She also helped to found Equality Now and Direct Impact Africa. And she has been awarded numerous times for her courage and leadership. I'll mention just a few. President Barack Obama gave her the Presidential Medal of Freedom. She received the Lifetime Achievement in Journalism Award from the Society of Professional Journalists. There is now a Gloria Steinem Endowed Chair at Rutgers University, and she received an Emmy citation for excellence in television writing. She's the author of numerous books, and we're very proud to give each of you a copy tonight of her book, My Life on the Road. And we are proud that Gloria is a longtime member of our program advisory board. Please welcome Gloria Steinem.
I'm not sure I can live up to that introduction. I'm going to work on it. Okay.
Gloria, thank you for being with us. I am so impressed. You and I have both been road warriors, as has Paul Winter. But when I read My Life on the Road, I thought, oh my God, this is somebody who worked very hard, slept in probably horrible hotels. You worked very hard over decades. It's really impressive what you did in order to bring about a change in the rights of women and girls and the other issues you addressed. What was it in particular about the rights of women and girls that drew you to take that on as a primary cause?
Well, getting born female helped.
Oh!
And then I fell in love with Louisa May Alcott when I was young and reading books, and she was a great feminist and suffragist, and perhaps is not as understood as a revolutionary, which she really was. And I fortunately had parents who thought that kids were individuals and it was okay. My mother had been a newspaper journalist and given it up and always loved it. My father had a dance resort in southern Michigan, and show business has this kind of relatively open sexual, racial kind of tradition. So I think I just lucked out.
In My Life on the Road, which I've read cover to cover, you said pressuring women to have children is the biggest cause of environmental distress. Can you talk about that?
Well, it's simply because overpopulation is the single biggest cause, and because women left to themselves for health and freedom and all kinds of reasons, the population, if it's in the hands of women, tends to increase at replacement level and a little more, like 2.2%, something like that. So lots of people have recognized this. Indira Gandhi recognized this and was very controversial because she supported family planning and contraception. It is mainly groups that for other reasons, military, land expansion, whatever it is, try to increase population instead of understanding that actually numbers of people has almost never been the reason why a group succeeded or, above others.
Yeah. In fact, every country that's gone from developing to developed status since World War II started with family planning and smaller family norms. So it's
I have to remember that. We all have to remember. So that when we're arguing,
I was very interested in your discussion of talking circles. And I gather you sort of learned about this strategy in India and then carried it out across the US. And I'm interested in hearing you talk about the importance of people listening and talking and how that can bring about change and how it can be beneficial for men.
I think it's beneficial for all of us. We are communal animals, for one thing. We want to be together. We go a little mad when we're too much by ourselves. And the best circle is one in which everyone can speak and everyone can therefore listen. And it's not dominate. It is a circle, not a hierarchy. It makes all the difference whether it's around a campfire and part of a deep tradition, or whether it's reformed by various rebellious groups in a corporation, or whatever the reason, we all learn. And we all get to speak, and nothing is more important than that. And actually, our Native American tradition in this country is the same. Wilma Mankiller, who was, the great Cherokee leader. Does people, I hope, still know Wilma Mankiller, right? Oh, good, okay. Yes. Who always explained when asked about her name that it was a traditional name for somebody who guarded the tribe if they asked her nicely. If they asked her not nicely, she said, "I earned it." But it is kind of natural, and I think we learn this in our living rooms and our boardrooms, and we're sitting at circular tables now, and, we were meant to be in a circle, not in a pyramid.
Ending dominance.
Yes, absolutely.
As you know, Population Media Center uses role modeling to bring about social change, and it's designed in a way we never tell anybody what to do. They're just seeing role models and the consequences of various behavioral choices. I'd be interested in hearing you talk about the importance of role modeling and the work you've done and the role models that have influenced you. And by the way, one of our guests tonight wrote and said, Gloria Steinem has been my role model my whole life.
I have to shape up. There's no, well, as I was saying, Louisa May Alcott was my first one, and she was, in fact, a great feminist besides writing Little Women and the work we know her for. Also, in a way, our mothers, at least in my case, my mother inspired me by what she wasn't able to do. She was a journalist and loved it, and gave it up. And one of the first things she taught me was how to fold a paper like a journalist notebook. And so, what influences us, the examples we see when we're young are just so crucial in setting us free, whoever we are. We're each unique. Nobody can ever be exactly the same person. Each of us is in this room, and we each have something unique to express, to contribute, to make us laugh. Wilma, this reminds me of Wilma, always explained that laughter was the only free emotion. You can make someone cry, you can make someone angry, but you can't make them laugh if they don't want to. And in Native American culture, there is a god of laughter because of that. And the idea is laughter breaks into the unknown, so if you can't laugh, you can't pray. How great is that?
In 1965, you wrote a segment called Surrealism in Real Life for an NBC show, and you've been involved in producing movies and TV shows. Can you talk about your experience with the use of entertainment media for social change?
Well, I think it's partly at its base, as I was saying, because laughter is something that breaks into the unknown and no one can, it's proof of freedom, that's basic. And the only exception to that, I think, is something that isn't laughter but ridicule, so that particular groups are subject to this. Otherwise, it is what we share. And in Native American culture, there's talking circles, laughing circles. You each have a talking stick that you can speak while you're holding it, and you pass it to the next person, and you go around the circle until the circle is complete. And there is, as I was saying, a god of laughter.
This may be hopefully not a depressing subject, but I want to ask you to look back as we come to a close of this evening over the last 50 years and look forward and be interested to hear what you have to say about how things have changed in the time of your career and what you see we can do and must do in the next 25 years on these issues.
Just a little thing like that. Well, in my lifetime, which is long, the great, although I looked up to see the oldest woman in the world, just so I'd have, 7, and she's 130, and she lives in the Himalayas, okay? So even though I'm 89, I have hope that it's going to be here. I think we need to understand some things I'm not sure we do, like the family is the most powerful social unit, more than governments, armies, and so on, because it gives us our first idea of who we are, that we're important enough to listen to, that violence doesn't help, that everybody's different, but everybody has the right to be part of this circle. And there's a book called Sex and World Peace, actually, which explains that democracy in the family is more a reason why wars are not thought to be acceptable than the policies of nation states. So, thinking about our families that way, I think gives them the honor that they deserve.
Well, we hope you become a role model for everybody on the planet.
No, I don't think so.
Gloria, thank you so much. We should wrap this up, but go ahead.
Okay, but if I just, are you, this is the organizer in me. Has each of you met somebody you didn't know before tonight? Yeah? Okay. All right. All right, I feel better already. Because tonight is such a glorious night and so devoted to the causes and the justice and the consideration and the bodily autonomy that all of us want and believe in. And so each of us deserves to go home from here with a new friend, a new revolutionary comrade. And I thank you so, so much for being here, and I thank you most of all.
Thank you, Gloria.